this is something you could learn from. Now,
Oh boy.
back in the online dating world,
This is mansplaining. Let's go. I love it.
It's just a man explaining something you
it's
don't
called
understand.
explaining. It's just called explaining to. Sometimes a man needs to talk to a woman about a thing that woman doesn't know or understand.
Oh, fucking lay
Okay?
it on me. That is double down mansplaining. Keep going.
What do you want? What do you want? You're
go.
filling up your car,
Hit me.
and the gas keeps going, because you're putting it where the antifreeze goes. You don't want me to say anything to
Oh
you?
my God. This is why you need to be in Atlanta so I can literally come over and smack you.
Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond, an Is This Good Companion pod where I catch up with my friend, and yours, Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi JD, thanks for coming and producing the show. She's excited to submit this episode to the AVN Awards. It's Rachel Doyle.
So excited. Still don't know what you mean, but hey.
The people were a little disappointed when you cut to your box on the screen and you're wearing layers. Jesus Christ.
Do they still do AVN awards? Is that still a thing?
You think it's suffered the same fate as like the Academy Awards and the Grammys? People aren't watching these awards anymore.
Well, I mean, who's making full-length movies anymore, I guess, is that
Well,
still
maybe
a
they
thing?
have awards for scenes and stuff like that.
I guess, sure.
Best digital short. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to Monday's episode with the one and only Rachel Doyle. Actually, Rachel Seelig, I learned. I've been calling her the wrong name, but I'm still maybe going to call you Rachel Doyle because then it sends a signal to the viewer's brain. These people are related.
That's right.
These people have some history together. These people have some animosity, perhaps. Some things left unsaid.
Your fingers are wild today, Matt.
Somebody asked me the other day, we were playing, sorry to bring it up, but we were playing pickleball, and this woman off court pointed at Rachel on a, 2 courts over and was like, "Are you related to that person?" And I was like, I mean, yes, she's my wife, but to say I'm related to her, that's kind of weird, right?
It's not weird if she was asking, "Is that your sister?"
Yeah, exactly.
And is that, did she find some resemblance, or was she, Rachel, screaming across 3 courts to you to tell you did a good job, baby boy?
Basically that. I was leaving the court and I tapped her ass with the paddle on my way.
Yeah.
And then
wow. Then way to jump out on a ledge, woman, and ask if you knew her.
Maybe she was
Do you know that woman over there, or are you a serial sexual harasser that we need to talk to the club pro about?
Maybe she wanted to know whether he needed to be kicked out.
Yeah. Well, no, she knew you. That's the thing. She knew who you were. So she was probably like, wow, that strange man just tapped Rachel in the ass, and Rachel didn't seem to mind. That's not in her character. So obviously she was like, well, you must be related to her in some way. So anyways.
That's true. On the episode, we learned that Rachel would punch someone in the face if they asked her to smile.
Right?
I wouldn't do that. I would just really want to.
Right. You haven't crossed over.
I haven't
yet.
gone to that.
Yeah.
Well, to build up hype for that episode, I did say we were submitting it to the Webbies, and then...
Oh.
And then remember, Rachel said she was going to take her shirt off, and then I said that's for the AVN Awards. So that's this
There's
episode.
still time.
There's still time.
The show
It's
is
freaky.
young.
Let's keep it on before the commercial break, just for our trusted sponsors to, I don't want them to be offended by anything. But then once those dynamic ads get inserted, you could take that top right off, and I think it'll be great for the audio listeners.
Give me some creative license, okay? I'll drop it when I drop it.
Hey, speaking of sexiness
Ooh.
and cities of sin, just before we were recording, I was texting with one Nora Artinian talking about potentially making some dinner reservations in beautiful Las Vegas in July. So I feel like I'm back. Now Nora's coming. She's usually not there. So now I have a partner to sort of bandy these ideas back and forth. Could be a 9-person reservation.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's tough. You're not doing us any favors.
Jason, just book my ticket so you can include me.
Wow, the whole Is This Good Crew is going to be in Las Vegas on July 12th.
Wow. Crazy.
I mean, and 13th.
Right.
But there might be a chance that we will see some of you on July 12th. Stay tuned for that. Why did I say that? Because that might make people believe that we're actually going to be doing something.
Wow.
I mean, you as No Dunks are doing something.
Yeah, we're doing
I will be there.
Yeah. You might be involved. We don't know. We haven't discussed it.
Okay. There's time. The playoffs aren't over yet. Or
are they?
Just kidding.
God damn.
Just kidding. I will say, I know it's not your fault because your company books your travel for you, but
yeah.
I'm not going to say where you're staying.
Okay.
A little pricier, a lot pricier than the last place you were staying. So I'm not particularly happy about that. We stayed at the Mirage 2 years ago.
Mirage? No, I never stayed at the Mirage.
Didn't we?
No.
Yes.
The Mirage?
Am I crazy?
Well, you might have stayed at the Mirage, but I didn't stay at the Mirage.
I stayed in the same hotel as you. Do you remember where we created this show in the casino? Where do you think that was?
I literally have no idea. I can't.
Well, then why? Don't say you haven't been there. Then, if you don't,
I'm not saying I haven't been there.
So where did you stay?
Well, I don't want to say because we were staying in the same hotel.
Well, spoiler: it's not that place.
Huh.
You were there last year, but the year before you stayed at the Mirage.
Oh, did we?
Yes, and of course we don't want to say where it is this year because it is the Trump Hotel.
Yeah, the New York Times is very, very high on Trump properties in general.
How cheap would the Trump Hotel have to be in Las Vegas for you to stay there?
For me to stay there? I mean, I don't know. $50 a night.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I'd stay there.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. A deal's a deal.
And I don't think they have a casino there. I think I've heard that said. So,
oh, really?
Some people like that in Las Vegas.
Well, he's not good. He's not good with casinos, as it turns out. So that's probably a good thing.
What, like in in Atlantic City?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Didn't they go under his watch?
I know, and that's the only thing he's ever run badly.
You're right.
He ran the hotels badly. He ran Trump University badly.
Yeah.
He ran Trump frozen
Steaks.
meats badly.
Yeah.
But the country, he killed at that. The thing that was much more complicated than any of those things, he destroyed.
Yeah.
In a sense,
Killed
he
it.
did,
Yeah.
didn't he? Did anything good or not good happen to either of you this week?
Well, we were racking our brains, and Rachel was like, "Oh yeah, remember box wine?" That's what she said. And I have no
Box
idea.
wine is the good thing that happened to you?
Yes, is that right?
You know, you don't have to throw my mental farts out into the atmosphere for everyone to smell. I basically I was thinking, to say, is this good? Boxed wine. Is boxed wine good? Because I found myself in a little pickle now because we've got 4 3-liter juice boxes basically of boxed wine. And it's just at my disposal, and I feel like, it's so cheap and actually pretty good. I could just drink it all the time.
Okay, but why do we have so much boxed wine?
Because we're cheap and everybody likes something different. And
Well, we had a little get-together
Yeah,
for
we had a
Lincoln's graduation, and we just got a couple of boxes of wine because it's decent wine, and it's...
a couple is 4.
Yeah.
But is this when the family was there?
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
it's left
And the
over
Doyles
from-
didn't finish? I mean...
It's a box of
kinda
wine.
It's 4
disappointing.
boxes of wine.
How
And
many bottles are in a box?
3 regular-sized bottles.
So
not
if
that much.
if you're drinking, I don't want to out myself here, but if you're drinking not even that much, like
Yeah.
a night you're just at home with Rachel, maybe you're watching a movie, it wouldn't be that weird to finish a bottle of wine between the two of you,
No.
right?
Absolutely.
What do they say? There's like 3.5 glasses per
Yeah.
bottle? Am I
Yeah,
making
yeah.
that up?
Yep. No, that's about right.
Yeah.
So you're basically having a glass and a half
Right.
of wine over the course of a night. That's not weird at all.
No.
Not weird.
But you
weird.
had so many people, that's why I'm confused.
Well, there
So-
was also open bottles of wine and stuff. But anyway, we have leftover box wine, and it doesn't go bad. I'm a box wine enthusiast now.
How does it not go bad? I don't understand.
Well, it's
'Cause
sealed
you
in
can't leave a bottle open.
Yeah, but no air gets to it because it's in a bag, and you just are releasing the wine out through the what is it called?
nozzle.
Spigot.
Nipple? Yeah, spigot. Yeah.
spigot.
So the air doesn't get to it. I mean, I'm sure it goes bad eventually.
Yeah,
but-
it's supposed to be 30 days once you open it, which is
Oh,
way
really?
longer than a bottle of wine.
Oh my god.
As
You know, they
if a
sell those
bottle of
things-
wine would last 30 days.
They sell those things where they're quite expensive, but when I win the lottery, this is one of the things on my. Do you have a list of things? It's like if I come into a bunch of money, I'd like to buy the following things.
Not really, to be honest.
Okay, well, these aren't extravagant.
Like
things.
a car.
Yeah, that's not like a new TV is on my list.
Okay,
I'm gonna move so
okay.
you could see how small this TV is. Now, don't laugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can barely see it.
That's a computer monitor. That's not
not
a TV.
even-
Oh, Rachel, that's the biggest insult. Oh no. Rachel just said, "What is that? A gateway?"
Okay.
Wow, how do you even
No.
consume
That's I deserve
content?
to be roasted. I deserve to be roasted for that. It's a pathetic television.
Yeah.
I think this television has existed since. It's been over 20 years.
So you're not even 4K. Is
I don't
it
know if
even
it's
in
3K.
HD?
Not even. What are you talking about?
Where were we
You're such a
before 4K?
snob.
Were we at 3K or were we at like 3.9K?
HD?
2K, I guess, is really a 1080 by, yeah, 1080 by 1920 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, it's that. It's
Yeah.
not good.
Okay.
It's not good. So that's on my list. And so there's this thing where you it's basically a contraption that goes over the wine bottle, and then instead of opening the cork, it inserts a very fine needle into the cork.
Yeah.
And then you can basically keep that bottle of wine for a month or something.
Wow.
Maybe even longer, because it traps all the air and whatever is in there and doesn't let it come out, which is
Right.
why the wine goes bad, because the oxygen reacts with it. I'm not a sommelier. I can't tell you exactly why that's bad, but it's bad. Oh, they say you got to let it breathe. That's good. But you let it breathe too much. It's a very fickle and sensitive product. So this thing is good for restaurants and stuff like that, because they open a bottle and they're serving by the glass, and then
Sure.
the wine never goes bad. So that's on my list.
Okay. I'm going to put that on my list, too.
Now, but what you're also telling me is that instead of doing that, I can just get boxed wine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but also, as you were saying that, I realized we're not getting the oxidization. Like, we're not, letting the putting in a decanter out of the box.
Okay, so
You know
you're
how
not
you're
letting the
supposed to-
yellowtail breathe? I think
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
but
think
you just let
I don't
it.
think that's going to change.
can let it-
Exactly. It's grog, basically.
You can let it sit in your glass.
I
for
suppose.
a
I could
bit.
swirl it around, but that's
Yeah.
generally not what I do.
So how many do you keep? Only one open at a time, or do you have a white and a
No,
red
we
and a
got-
rosé on
we-
the counter?
We have a white and 3 reds going.
All going at the same time?
Yeah. Well, one's a
Okay.
Cab Sauv, one's a blend. I don't like the blends.
Oh,
don't know.
so you're basically have created a wine bar in your home.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Totally.
a variety of just juice boxes you have access to at all time.
It's like unlimited. It's like having a beer, a tap of beer. You know what I mean? Like. it's
Oh
just-
yeah. Not on my list.
Yeah. I'd love a Guinness tap, but
We don't need
Guinness
to...
Tap is the only one I'll accept because it's
Yeah.
fun. Like
Yeah.
you want the head,
Right.
And I think one could say, like, if you were getting it from the right, don't they say it's better in
out of the draft.
Ireland? I don't know
Yeah.
if that's just
Yeah,
a thing.
I think I like it better. It's the one beer I prefer out of the tap.
Nobody does the clovers down here. I used to
know.
do back home. Little clovers.
Yeah, because all our best beer artists have moved to coffee, cappuccino art,
Wow.
latte art, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't
It's
be
sad,
making
really.
more money.
We've lost our best and brightest
They grew up.
and drunkest.
They grew up and moved over to coffee.
They said we can't be drinking the rest of our lives.
It's a great point. It's a
Did
great-
anybody notice
Oh, yeah.
my sexy new off-brand?
Right, for the audio listener, Rachel is showing off her off-brand Stanley Cup.
I thought you were going to say, for the audio listener, Rachel is loudly shaking the ice around her metal contraption.
Oh, that's nothing new. What do you got in there, Rachel?
two Dr. Peppers.
Oh my God, are you okay?
No.
You drink
Matt.
Dr. Pepper? How old are you?
It depends on the time of day. Right now, I'm feeling 10. It is Diet Dr. Pepper. Does that help?
Young Pep Dash is very
A
excited.
little
right
bit.
now.
Wait, so where were we? Why were we talking about Guinness? Oh, right.
because-
I would say that the .com, like, not just the .com bubble office, but just like millennials don't want to come into work. We got to make the office environment fun and have a foosball table and a beer tap. And that ruined it for me. Like when the Score moved from its old location to its new one, they had a beer tap. We never got to use it for we had already been fired. But I would just rather them have a fridge stocked with cans or bottles of beer.
Okay.
It just does nothing
fair.
for me to have the tap there. And I don't want a tap in my home. If you have a tap in your home, what do? You got to go out to the liquor store and get your own keg?
Yeah.
And roll it down your driveway?
Well, or get it delivered. I mean, yeah.
That's so not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it? I think it is worth it. For Guinness.
Okay, let me ask you this. On the list of what you might build if you come into some money. Because I do see these a lot on Zillow. A basement bar.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I would put it in the Classic Factory. The pint.
Yeah, it's true. You already have like neon signs in there, so it kind of already is.
Yeah, it's a bit man cave-ish, and
a bar beside a pickleball court. Indoor pickleball court.
Oh, what? An indoor
Moving on.
pickleball.
You can talk about pickleball as much as you want, as long as the story doesn't actually have to do with pickleball, like JD's story about sexually harassing you. I think, JD, you should start tapping every person, man or woman, on the butt so that now they don't know. They just like, oh, he just does that to everyone. So it's not weird.
I'm doing that more than I should. And then I go, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be that
You're paddle
familiar
tapping
with
your lady partners?
Yeah. And so, yeah.
It's sports. That's totally allowed in sports.
I agree, but I'm not doing it to anybody except for you.
Are you racket tapping?
Oh, yeah. I actually do the faux pas of I offer my racket. Like at the end of the game, the people will turn their paddles, their pickleball paddles, their precious pickleball paddles, and tap the handle.
I like the movement you're doing.
I fucking hate that. It honestly makes me angry.
Well, some people are more precious about their paddles, and then some people will just almost wind up and smack as a tap. I'm like, oh,
that's me.
Shit.
We're tapping paddles. Boom. Yeah. Anyways,
You make it sound like you like are kneeling in front of your liege and offering your paddle over.
that's kind of sometimes the way that it is. It's just like, there you go.
You have my sword and my paddle. I wanted to talk about this article I read in GQ. Headline, why does I already saw this hurt so much? Subheadline, in the age of the For You page, there's a very real chance that your pal has already seen the hilarious post you just sent them. The interaction that follows can be perilous for your self-esteem, but it doesn't have to be. It's by Matthew Robertson. Caught my eye because this was one of those times where you see something being written about and you're like, okay, thank you, it's not just me. Like, I find it's the most hurtful thing when you send someone a meme and their only response is, I already saw this.
Wow.
And I was traumatized.
By who?
By
Name the
Basketball
name
Jones, the starters, being in an office with 5 other at the time terminally online people, finding something that you think is interesting, that makes you laugh, that you think is relevant to someone in the group, and sending it to them, only to have them turn around and tell you to your face, I already saw that. Now, this happens so often that we developed a thing called the echo chamber, which is where you would share something that someone had already seen or say something that someone had already said.
Right.
And it happened so often that, people just couldn't be bothered to say, I already saw this. And they would just scream, echo! And I'm traumatized. And I decided I'm going to be the change that I want to see in the world.
Okay.
And I've stopped doing it. I've stopped telling people, I've stopped responding to memes that way because I used to do it too. Because I said, if people are going to do this to me, I got to do it right back to them.
Right.
But, I mean, well, first of all, question, does it bother you?
Does it bother me? No, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, God. Why doesn't anything bother you?
He's a robot. He's a computer.
Okay, well, does this bother
chip.
you, Rachel?
I actually got one I sent to my dear friend David. It was the one about the different colored caulking. That was obviously totally written. And anyway.
What?
It wasn't like.
Hey, can I say something? Can I say
inauthentic.
something? I haven't already seen that.
I haven't.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him because I know my friend, loves a good penis joke. And he came back at me, yeah, saw that last week. So
last week.
My
That's
brother
7 days
sent
ago.
it. And I'm like, of course your brother did. He's as dirty as you are. Fuck. And yeah.
But isn't that's annoying because then you're not like the dumbness of the whole process is you sent him a meme because you thought he would laugh at it, but it also you're sending it to him to communicate, right? To be like, I was thinking of you. I saw this thing. I thought of you. Thought you'd find it funny. A conversation starter, something. But instead, he essentially like takes your outstretched hand and slaps it away.
Yeah.
That's right.
Take your old
It
joke.
is hurtful. So I thought we could maybe workshop some new ways to respond when this happens to us.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I like
us and the
this.
listeners could stop this.
Okay.
This terrible scourge.
Right.
Okay, first of all, let's go levels. I already saw this. Even worse is just saw it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So dismissive.
Right.
Now, why can't you just say, why would it be so bad? You send him that meme that he's already seen, Rachel. David just writes back, LOL.
Yeah.
Why would that be so hard? Because he enjoyed it the first time he saw it.
Right.
Because he feels that there's some currency to seeing things before other people.
That's exactly right.
And so he has to let you know that he's better than you. I mean,
It's like, bitch, work harder and faster if you want to entertain me.
exactly. You were trying to communicate and he was telling you, I'm better than you. That's essentially what that interaction said.
Or that his brother is better at sending him fun stuff.
Right.
So
His brother is the best.
Yes.
He's better than you and you are the worst.
That's right.
I gotta do better.
Okay, now what about this one? Love this one! Exclamation point.
Yeah, I like that.
That's very good.
Because you do get the sense that embedded in that is the person saying, I already saw this, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Love this one. Because you wouldn't say love this one if you had never seen it.
Yeah. That's
That
true.
wouldn't really make sense.
Yep.
What do you think about a classic?
Oh, that's.
I don't like that.
No, I like.
It's like, this is so fucking old and you just discovered it today? No.
Okay,
It makes me feel bad. If
Put your
somebody says-
acid wash jeans
like-
away and get with the
That's
program.
right. Yeah.
What about just saying like saw it and loved it or something? Or saw it and laughed so hard when I saw this yesterday or something.
It's too much.
The yesterday.
Too much response.
Yeah, you don't want to put a time on it. Because
Okay,
you're like...
so-
Because this is what happens. When you see a meme that you like, you take ownership of that meme. And then you're sharing it with whomever you think. And then you're giving it away, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to feel like it's, oh, this special thing that I owned and have, and now I'm giving to you, is actually sloppy seconds. It's yesterday's thing. It's used. This thing is used, even if it has 10 million views, right? Like,
Yeah, it's just dirty now.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
How about this? You get me, bro. Something like that, you know? Like,
Oh, that's so beautiful. You get me, bro.
yeah, this you really
Well,
get me. Or algorithms aligned, you know, some sort of like our algorithms are simpatico, bro.
AA.
You know?
No, wait, that's not.
What are we, carpooling on the information superhighway?
Yes.
But the you get me, bro would make me feel like you had not seen it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Even though it's like, this is one of my all-time favorite memes from a year ago, you're still saying, I love this. Thank you for sending it to me.
So you're coming up with ways to sort of sublimate your own you're saying, I've already seen this, but you're saying that it's more important to you to make the person that sent it to you feel good than to express which is honestly, thank you. That's what we should all be doing. Another great example of a lie that's not a bad lie. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're lying to this person, but you're making them feel good.
But you're not necessarily lying if you do, in fact, love the meme, even though it's from a year ago. You're just saying...
Yeah, but what if now that person is going, fucking JD, man. This guy never sees anything. The only way he'll see anything is if I send it to him.
Yeah, there is the danger.
Does he even have an internet connection? Okay, what do you do when someone sends you a meme? Like Rachel, this David fella sends you a meme. Mm-hmm. You don't find it funny at all. In fact, it makes you wonder, does David even know me? Why would he think I would like this? Do you just give it an LOL just to get it over with? crying
I might put
emoji?
a H, like a dot.
That's what you want to see.
What?
Who is
Oh,
this?
so you do basically tell them I didn't get it, didn't like it.
You're pretty honest. I'll send you something I find hilarious, and you go, "This is fucking gross.
What?
Do not send me
No,
this."
Do not do that
So,
again.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I think it's fine in a spousal relationship.
Right. Yeah.
You can be honest, but I don't know.
I mean, when your
I
closest
lie all the
friends.
time. I lie all the time, people.
Wow. You're really outing
Don't trust
yourself as a big
Anything
liar.
I say. But the
Liar
more you
pants.
think about it, it's because I think lying is so common and second nature that we can't even remember times we've lied. Like, if I told a big lie, like, I didn't murder that guy, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I would probably remember that. But I'm just saying we lie so constantly and freely that it's hard to remember because it's so innocuous. And, like, I would never remember that Rachel sent me a meme, I'd seen it before, or didn't find it funny, and I just wrote back, love it, or something.
Right.
Well,
Why would I remember that?
That graphic that I sent you, were you just being nice, saying, "Oh, I get it now"?
Oh, okay, that's a good example. You sent it to me. I think I saw it in the morning because with the time change, I'm often seeing your memes in the morning.
Like, this is not funny, bitch. And then you have a coffee and you feel better. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. The best part of waking up is memes in your cup. So I saw it, kind of looked at it, I was like, I don't know why. And I didn't have it in me to be like, what is... And that's another point. Sometimes you get caught, like, should I ask for clarification? Sometimes I literally wonder, did this person mean to send this to me? Like,
Right.
was it an accident, or did they think I was someone else? So I didn't want to say anything because I didn't find it funny. And it wasn't even a meme. It was something you saw in real. Can you describe what it was?
I mean, yeah, I could probably also bring it up and
Okay.
just... It's, it was a graphic on the slideshow at Jackson's Paris meeting. And
This is the meeting going over the rules of the things that don't talk loud, stuff like that.
Don't talk loud.
That was one of the.
Well,
I think they were just
Where?
being. This is
Like on the plane?
the
or-
streets of Paris, I guess. I don't know.
Don't talk loud. Oh, yeah, because they don't want them to know they're American.
Exactly.
Can I-
yeah.
like, put it up so you can...
Okay, well, we'll put up the picture.
Okay.
You'll put
Okay,
up.
so-
You'll put up the picture. But basically, it's what does it say?
Behavioral expectations, and then there's that graphic.
It's like two stick-ish figures talking to each other, but one person is standing perfectly straight and the other person is sort of raising their hand as if they're gesticulating at them.
Yes.
But because it's just one homogeneous stick figure, it looks like it's a man's penis.
Yeah,
Is that
like
is
a
that
big,
what's so
big
funny?
boner, like almost leaning towards the person. Like once you see it as a boner, you cannot unsee it as a boner. They're like, for the audio listener, it's like they're like men's and women's restroom icons
exactly.
or characters
Exactly.
or whatever. But one has
But
a
you know
big old boner.
Rachel, the other thing I'm gonna say to you, and I think this is something you could learn from. Now,
Oh, boy.
back in the online dating world,
Is this mansplaining? Let's go. I love it.
It's just a man explaining something you
it's
don't
called
understand.
explaining. It's just called explaining too. Sometimes a man needs to talk to a woman about a thing that woman doesn't know or understand.
Oh, fucking lay
Okay.
it on me. That was double down mansplaining. Keep going.
What do you want? What do you want? You're
go.
you're filling up your car,
Hit me.
and the gas keeps going because you're putting it where the antifreeze goes. You don't want me to say anything to
Oh,
you?
my God. This is why you need to be in Atlanta so I can literally come over and smack you.
That only happened
All right.
a couple of times, Matt.
Oh,
Hey
fuck
Rachel,
you.
by the way, nice to see you smiling. So
Again.
in the online dating world, you would think you should put up some pictures of you and friends because it says, hey, I have friends. I go out. I'm a normal enough person that people don't hate me, and I've stayed in contact with them. Look at us all smiling together. But then you realize when you start looking at women's profiles that it's impossible when all their pictures are with a group of girls, and you're like, I don't know which one I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rachel, if you showed me a picture of you and three friends, I would, boom, zoom in on you. But, like, this is a complete stranger. Is their hair color different? They're wearing a different thing. The angle is different. Sometimes it's genuinely hard to tell who the person is in each picture.
Sure.
So you don't want to spend all that time sorting through all that information. So just put a picture of yourself. We can all infer that you have friends. In this thing you sent me.
I'm connecting.
Okay, how would
a
you
lot
connect
going
it?
on in the
Let's do an
picture.
exercise. Let's do an exercise. How would you connect these two thoughts?
I go
And
immediately.
try to smile as you answer the question.
Are you talking about I would go immediately to the graphic because I'm going to be drawn to the visuals. Is that what you're saying?
Well, on one side is the graphic. On the other side is a huge block of text.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, is the joke in the text or is the joke in the graphic?
Also, your mind doesn't go immediately to the garbage can like mine does, so it would take a moment to figure out what was trying to be relayed. So if you get something from me, expect to look for the dirt.
Just look for the boner. Always look for the boner.
Yeah. No, who is sending it to you?
You.
I know, but no, like, okay, get into her head. Okay, it's
Okay,
hard.
Probably
right.
dirty. Where's the dirty thing in this picture?
Where's the dirty thing? And anyways, to answer your question, way later when we were about to do the show, I was texting you, so I was looking at the graphic again, and then I was like, oh, it looks like a penis. And I wrote back, I get it now.
Like 12 hours later.
Yeah, it's fine.
Which I think was the reaction you were going for, right? Just an acknowledgement that I understood, not a ha ha ha.
But I appreciate that you reached out eventually. I didn't need immediate response. I can wait for it.
JD, you said that you were going to talk to me about hats today, so I wore a hat.
Oh, right. Well, it's hat season here in Atlanta. It's hot, it's sunny. It's always hat season for me. But,
Hat season.
but anyway, listen, we were having a debate, and I'm in the market for a bucket hat. I'm not gonna lie. I love a bucket.
I've seen you in a bucket hat before. You look good.
Thank you.
Where is there a picture of you you're in like a bathrobe and a bucket hat?
It's on my Instagram, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So what's wrong with that bucket hat?
Well, Rachel doesn't like me in a bucket hat.
No, I just need to get used to it. I'm just like,
Okay,
when I see you in a bucket hat, I feel like you look like a toddler.
Okay, I'm putting on.
Oh my God, he brought props.
I'm putting on a bucket hat right now. Now this one is a white bucket hat. Has an
Yeah.
Adidas I will admit it's a bit Gilligan.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
But I think it's cool too.
I have
Is this
no
your worst
fashion
one?
sense.
'Cause
I
I'm
have no
already in
fashion
on it.
sense.
Okay. So Rachel was like, "Why don't you try this instead? This is She's like, "Well, I think you'd look much better in this hat." And it's basically like a Tilly hat with
Rachel.
this thing
Rachel.
that goes.
It doesn't even go over your beard.
Right? Like
You got to put it under
I can
your beard.
hide it under my beard. Sure. It's a string for the audio listener. I'm putting on like a Tilly style hat with a string. How is this better? Like it's going around my neck. How does this not look like a toddler or a 68-year-old man like looking for treasures on a beach with a metal detector?
It's
You know what I mean?
definitely giving. It's definitely giving. My wife and I love group trips to Europe. We, just the knees aren't what they used to be, so it's so nice to just get on a bus and see things from the windows.
That's right.
But you have to see all the angles this hat has, because I was
Right,
like,
and then
oh,
she's
wait.
like, "Oh, well, you can pin it up," and I'm like, "Okay, let's do that." So I've pinned it up, and now I'm wearing like
Now you look like
I'm-
a little kid dressed as a cowboy.
yeah, it's like the
Yeah,
Woody
oh.
hat from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Right?
You put your head up like that, immediately, like you will get transported to a Margaritaville.
And then you can turn it.
Okay, and then you can turn it, and then you're a prospector looking for gold in them hills. Where there we go.
You just gotta move that.
You gotta move the
Are
string.
there sizes of this hat because the string is so short? I guess they don't think that
Yeah,
men will have beards as long as
That's
yours.
a large, extra large.
this is the biggest version.
So Rachel, your honest answer is that you'd prefer him to wear this hat.
Well, not anymore. Now he looks
Now
like
I've got
he's
the Three
sort-
Musketeers.
No.
D'Artagnan is that one of them?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Didn't we once on the show try to name all three Musketeers and fail?
Failed terribly. D'Artagnan is the only one I know.
Well, I don't know. And then you wear your baseball cap, and I see Fred Durst.
The fitted baseball cap backwards.
When he wears it backwards, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get used to the bucket hat and stop thinking that only toddlers wear bucket hats. It's fine. I can adjust my expectations of your headgear.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but do you think that baseball hats, and I'm including in baseball hats the fitted cap, the snapback, the dad hat, will those ever go away? Like, will those ever be out of style?
They've never gone out of style, as far as I know.
But every other hat has sort of gone in or out of style.
Yes.
Like the fedora, in style, then out of style, then briefly in style, now thankfully out of style.
I want a fedora. I love a fedora. But I'm a big
bowler hat, pork pie, a newsy
hat.
cap. These have gone in. A top hat is out, I guess.
Out forever, I guess.
Unless you're going to like the blackest of the black ties.
Yeah.
But the baseball hat has endured for, I didn't look it up, but you know what I'm going to say confidently? Over 100 years.
I think you're 100%
Really?
right. Yes.
Because baseball's existed for a long time.
Okay, but you're not going to see like men in the 60s wearing a baseball cap outside of taking Jimmy to the
fair.
park, right?
Fine, fair. Okay, so but would you say since the 80s?
Yeah.
So we're talking about 40 plus years here.
Yeah.
Of baseball hat supremacy. No other hat has come even close to unseating the baseball hat. The bucket had its moment, and it's a fine alternative, but it's nowhere near. Cowboy hat.
I mean,
if you're a woman, the floppy brunch hat was big there for a while.
Yeah.
But even I think with women, the baseball hat has been the most common hat.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Maybe the
it's sort of
beanie
amazing.
/ toque
Oh yeah.
has had a good run.
That's true.
Yeah, but that does that count? Because that's a warmth hat.
It's functional.
Versus
It is functional.
a style hat.
Doesn't protect
But
it.
the baseball hat has a function which was to keep the sun out of your eyes.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the baseball hat, I mean, jeans like we've talked about, wide, skinny, go
Yeah.
in and out of style.
Yeah.
But the baseball hat has endured. I guess now you could say the trucker hat kind of had a moment. So maybe it's just like within the baseball hat. The baseball hat itself is undefeated, but within it, there's modalities. The dad hat, became big for a while.
Yeah.
And still big.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
From a sociological, cultural perspective. Tell me there's not a man or a woman somewhere in this country at a university studying the baseball hat and its place in the culture.
Right.
A fashion degree kind of thing.
No,
Masters.
I think it's
Graduate studies.
what's the textile like like that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of study.
Yeah.
But that's fascinating. I wish you luck on your journey.
Thank you.
If I could actually say one thing, I think the bucket hat looks great. Maybe a darker color
Yes, I agree.
because you have darker features. The white is a little too bright on you. If the bucket hat was the color of the, I don't know what that hat's called, but I'm just gonna call it ugly.
Well, this is black, I think.
Yeah.
This is straight up black.
Yes, I think that would look good on you.
Yeah. Okay.
A dark or like a navy, something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Sorry,
mean, you
Rachel.
said I could wear it, but then you said I looked like I should be observing gorillas in the
Gorillas in the mist. Very Jane Goodall.
fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, take your hats off as if the national anthem was happening, because I got to do some housekeeping.
Put it back
If you
on.
want to support
Put
the
it back
show,
on. Put it back on. Oh my god.
Yeah, my hair is
I know.
almost gone.
Mine's insane too. Support the show. Go to patreon.com/isthisgood. You'll get ad-free episodes. I'm gonna stand. You'll get access to our thriving community on Discord. You'll get an exclusive episode every month and send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Rachel, I had a question for you. Actually, or you or JD could answer this. Did you watch Sex in the City when it was on? Or ever?
I didn't. You know when I did watch it? I watched it when I was in the hospital for 2 months with Lincoln when I was pregnant. Because I had to be on bed
Okay.
rest for 2 months, and I burned through it. It was good. Just brain, like, you don't think
Smooth
about
brain.
anything when it's on. It's not taxing to your system. It's
What about sex? You don't think about sex when it's on?
I can't remember. I doubt I was masturbating on
Oh
that
my!
bed in the
Is that legal?
I mean,
What do you mean?
I mean, look, if you're there for 2 months.
2 months. I mean, come on.
It was a shared room.
It was a shared room, but my God, you should have heard some of the noises coming out of the other.
You're talking about women with high-risk
The
pregnancies.
high-risk ward. It was an exciting 2 months. There were some interesting folks going in and out of there, and some of them. One that you were there. Were you there at the time? She was.
No, you invited me, but I said I wasn't interested.
You would have loved it. It was like the farts and the sounds that she was making. She was like, oh, and huge farts escaping her every time. I'm like,
so she's just making like labor pains, but for gas.
But for gas. And like, like for a couple of hours, I'm like, okay, headphones. Holy shit. I still can hear it. Anyway. Whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do on the high risk ward.
Gotta do. Okay. So which character are you? Did you fancy yourself a Carrie, a Samantha, a Charlotte, a Miranda?
I don't know. I don't think I ever placed myself.
Well, then do it right now.
I don't even remember. It's been so long ago.
Oh my god.
Okay, one's like
You're a Samantha. For just.
she. Like,
Yeah, actually, I think you're a Samantha.
She.
I mean, I've never even seen the show, but I know she's the dirty
Well,
one.
she's the most sex positive
Yeah.
of the bunch, but she's also sort of a very career focused woman. You know, she's in public relations. So you have the sex part.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you're a combo. Maybe you're a Samantha with a bit of a Charlotte, perhaps. No, too conservative for you. JD, who do you think you are? Also a Samantha.
I guess, sure. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what the different archetypes are. I don't know what they mean.
Okay.
Who is the main character? Is Carrie, right?
Carrie.
Yeah,
Carrie,
okay.
Carrie. Yeah.
I mean,
I only bring this up to say that it's on Netflix now, so a lot of people are talking about it again. A new generation is rediscovering it. And I didn't really need to go through all that to read this tweet to you, but there was a tweet I read a while ago. Keep forgetting to bring it up. It's crazy how often the Sex and the City girls get asked out. Is that just normal for hot people? Okay. Sure. So then this woman responded, it's the era, I think. I noticed a sharp drop in men cold approaching me around 2016. I thought it was just because I was getting older and was married, but I've met cute girls in their 20s who say men only approach them on the apps. Next tweet. Like, they've told me they'll be at a party or bar, and everyone is just hanging out with the people they came with, and it's sex segregated like a middle school dance. Not a universal experience, I'm sure, but happening to some people. And then next tweet. I actually do still get cold approached, but I think at this point it's filtering for extremely bold guys in their early 20s, because who else would hit on a mom who is out with her toddler? LOL. This made me angry for exactly the reason that you're probably thinking, what is this woman talking about? Why would anyone why would you think that you can draw a conclusion as to whether men are still hitting on women in public if you're married and have a kid and are pushing a toddler around? Right. It's kind of a red flag. Anyways, I did want to ask you, because I know, JD, for sure you were a cold approacher in your day.
Yeah, sure. But
right?
we didn't have much other choice. There was, if you wanted to date somebody, you had to approach them somehow.
Well, but I think even in that time, there were probably shyer folk who who would wait for a friend to set them up or something like that.
Right.
Or use phone dating. What was that? Like, we used to see the infomercials for it. Video dating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. But so would you, approach a woman in a supermarket or something like that?
No, I would never do that.
Oh, okay. So just in bars, you mean?
I mean, not even to be honest. I've done it for sure. Absolutely, I've done it. Yes.
So where were you approaching then?
Mostly parties and
at work. When work would trickle into drinks after work.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really count. But
I don't feel like that really counts.
But definitely parties were the main. Where I would feel most comfortable approaching somebody.
Okay. And
bars are
Rachel,
harder, just because they're, you don't know what's going on. And it's hard to talk. It's hard to talk in a bar when it's loud. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I always used to wonder, like, well, but how do I know that person is single? And
Right.
people say, you don't need to know.
That's
you
right.
just walk up to them, start talking to them.
That's
Then
right.
they say, I have a boyfriend. You say, okay, great. But I don't know. It always felt too humiliating to me.
Right.
I don't know that I'm not a cold. I guess I have done it, but you just hear stories about like being in the same grocery aisle as someone, and they pick up the box of cereal that you eat, and you make a conversation, or at a bookstore,
Right.
like in You've Got Mail or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you say cold. There would never be there's never a time where there wasn't some sort of communication before actually going over and talking to the person, right? Like eye contact over the course of, an hour, 45 minutes, just sort of.
Ooh, the tension builds.
Yes, well, there's got to be some sort of initial there's got to be like a signal from the person that there's a reason for you to go over there. You don't just go, whoa, girl, boom, walk over there. Like, I mean,
I feel like some people do.
I know. There's a lot of like shoot your shot. Who cares? Shoot
your shot.
The
YOLO.
shotgun approach. Just ask everybody, and somebody's gonna say yes eventually.
Yeah.
But that certainly wasn't me. I mean,
It's a numbers game, they say.
yeah.
But I've never felt that that's true. I mean, obviously it is true, but I didn't find it helpful information
Right.
as to make me do it. But Rachel, did you notice that you got hit on less once you had 2 kids and a husband?
I don't think I really noticed that sort of thing. I don't know. God, it's been years, really. I'm doing something wrong.
Having a fucking
The
breakdown.
look of longing on your face.
Yeah, I mean, I never really went to a lot of bars. I mean, the last bar I remember pre-Jason was a gay bar when me and Denise were going up to Toronto because we were scoping things out. We were going to move in with our friend. Had a couple more friends. We didn't tell them it was a gay bar, so we kind of shocked them when we ended up in the gay bar. And anyway, I hit on a girl and we started making out there, and she was really shocked. But anyway, very easy.
Did you call? Was it cold? Did you just go up to her and say,
I think we were dancing.
"How
and
you doing?"
I think we were dancing, and it was definitely a connection. And
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah,
You need that body language, the ritual.
yeah.
Okay, what happened? What happened after you made out? Because we are submitting this to the AVN Awards.
We continued dating, and
Oh
Then-
yeah.
Boring.
she sent me postcards. That's how long ago it was. She sent me postcards to Nova Scotia till I moved back to Toronto,
Oh yeah.
and then I was dating her there. That's old when you get postcards. One of the postcards was a gorilla with a naked woman on it. I'm like, well, this isn't sexy.
Was it a King Kong still?
I mean, that was probably what they were trying to do, but it wasn't specifically. Anyway, it was cool.
Well, so like, I feel like when I was growing up, the older I got, the more I was in the age of like where you are going to bars and cold approaching, that there was this shift in the tide of people saying, give women a goddamn break. They don't want to be approached and harassed at all. Not that I'm talking about harassment, but just like, it's like if a woman is there at the gym, going to the gym, she's there to work out. Don't go up to her and start chatting her up because you're doing it, the other guy's doing it, and like she's just trying to get through her day. At the grocery store, same thing. In line at the bank, same thing. Even out, like people would be like, she's out with her gals. They're just trying to have fun. They're just dancing in a circle together. They don't want you to interrupt. And so that got drilled into my brain that I was like inconveniencing people. And and my next question is basically, how did you message that to your sons? Like, because basically what I'm saying is I over-indexed on that. I over-indexed on being too deferential, and like, I feel like women now are being like, shit. Now no one approaches us.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Now we gotta go on these fucking dating apps. They're a nightmare because you can't meet anyone in person anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, how have you messaged that to the kids?
We don't. We have because the truth is we don't have any fucking idea what the rules are anymore. There was a faux pas that happened recently that I never even would have occurred to me. But I don't want to say it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think Jackson would ever approach anyone anyway because he's very shy. All of the women who have went after him have been, they're in. And they're aggressive.
They approach him.
And he's like, he'll be like, no, or all right.
Okay.
But they come to him. He doesn't go for them.
Well, I never had that problem. That's nice for him. You say, how do you mention that to your kids? We don't, because our kids are fucking hot.
Yeah, there is that part of it.
They don't need to talk to anyone.
I don't know. The truth is, again, I have no idea what this fucking online, the rituals online, and what's acceptable and not acceptable, and
It's a new landscape. I would probably get I would be sexually harassing people if I acted the way I did back then, I'd be like,
oh yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah. You'd be like Encino Man. I mean, well, that's rude. I'm not saying you're that old.
It's okay. I'm feeling it.
How about more Brendan Fraser in Blast from the Past? He only got frozen. Well, he was never frozen. Now that I think about it, he was merely underground.
Yeah. That's exactly what we are. We've been in a bomb shelter since 1997. Just enjoying our canned victuals.
Stop.
But yeah, I have no idea, and they're kind of on their own there. But it's just like, God, I didn't,
Okay, well, you could tell them that Uncle Matt said that anecdotally, what he's been reading on the internet is that women are saying they want men to start hitting
being
on them
aggressive.
again. Not
Getting
aggressively.
that testosterone
Not
out.
aggressively.
No?
But just, it would be nice if there was some repartee in the real world. Mm-hmm. Again, not aggressive, not harassing. If they say no or they don't seem interested, let's not force it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
A little more smiling, a little more approaching.
Oh, God. Okay.
Wait, are you telling me to smile, Matt?
No, I'm telling men to smile, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Did either of you have anything before we go that's burning a hole in your laptop?
I have this thing that I've had this thing for a while, and this will be quick. It was a headline that I saw. Die-hard Red Hot Chili Peppers fans vow never to see them perform again after, quote, disappointing show. And the problem was...
The problem was that they just got cochlear implants?
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is they didn't play any of their hits. And I was like, and I looked at the set list from a show, and whatever, there's Danny California, there's all this shit, like...
Yeah, those are hits.
Exactly, they're hits. I don't know what they're complaining about, but what I realized is that there's one song from this set list from Blood Sugar Sex Magic, it's Give It Away. That was for the last song they did, the encore, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers play anything other than what's on Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Okay. But anyways, what I realized is that any band that has been together for more than 30 years just stop making new music, right? I mean, just completely stop, because I'm fucking not interested. Blood Sugar Sex, you know what Blood Sugar? How long ago Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out?
Is it 92?
91. 33 years ago.
Wow.
Let me put that into perspective.
And Anthony Kiedis is still dating people that are the same age as he was then.
Yeah. Let me put this into perspective. You and I met in 2001, right?
Correct, yep.
Let It Be by the Beatles came out 31 years before that. This is like as if, and Blood Sugar Sex Magic had been out for 10 years when we met in 2001.
Yeah, okay, but see, I would say you're in the minority here because you're not even talking about Californication, which was an enormous album.
You're 100% right. I am in the minority. I'm not interested in Californication. The Beatles did it right. Break up, and
then have some people in the band die, so you could never reunite.
I would prefer that never happen, but the Beatles are the Beatles. And we're never going to see them live.
And
But
by
if
the way,
they were to get back together,
Paul McCartney is still touring and he is still releasing new albums.
right? But is he playing the new music? I wouldn't know.
You bet he is.
Well, then who cares?
I assume
Paul,
he is.
It's time to hang it up, Paul.
But if he stops doing new music that he's interested in, then he probably won't tour. You know what I mean?
So
it's like
what?
that double bind. You want the artist to still be engaged enough to want to be excited and feel vital.
Yeah. No.
But you also want to hear the hits.
I don't
right?
even care. I don't I don't need to see Paul McCartney play. I didn't need to see Elton John play. I'm glad I didn't go to that show.
Well, why? You were excited about going, and now you're saying you're glad you didn't go.
I'm glad I didn't go. I didn't go.
Okay.
And I'm glad I didn't go.
Elton John, by the way, is playing on this last tour that he did, his final tour.
Yeah. I thought it was
About
over.
that. Yeah, no, it is over.
Okay.
But because I think the last one was in Dodger Stadium because he has history there.
Right. Yeah.
And it was on maybe Paramount Plus or something. They recorded the whole thing, and I kind of scrubbed through it. He plays this remix with Dua Lipa. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yes.
parts of Sacrifice and parts of Rocket Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
He sang that song.
He sang the Dua Lipa version?
Yeah, and people loved it because that's like a big hit on the radio.
Right.
I guess we're saying none of these Red Hot Chili Pepper songs are hits. I would assume. I don't even know. I don't even know what their new.
Nobody does
on a second.
because
I'm gonna
nobody
look it up.
cares. Nobody cares.
But when was this concert? Was it this year?
This was February 9th of 2023. So it's that would have been summer in Australia.
Oh yeah, you have had this in your pocket for a while. Okay, but their last albums came out in 2022, and they released 2 of them. Oh my God, they're at the top of their game. Unlimited Love and Return of the Dream Canteen.
Yeah, not interested.
I mean, I'm not interested either. Did you say where these concerts were?
Melbourne.
Okay, so you know how in the NBA they say if you're going to rest players, do it at home? Because in theory, if you're, let's say, the Lakers, everyone wants to see LeBron play, but if you're a Lakers fan, you have 41 chances to see LeBron at crypto.com.
Right.
But if you are living in Toronto, they're only going to come through once, the Lakers. So don't rest LeBron in Toronto when all these fans in Canada won't have a chance to see him.
Exactly. Yep.
So what I'm saying is Red Hot Chili Peppers, play all your new stuff in LA.
100%. Yes.
And you know what? Play a club show. Get back to that old feeling.
Yes.
Play the Whiskey a Go Go or something.
Yeah.
And just play all your new songs. And people will go because it'll be cool to them to see you in a 1,000 cap room.
Yeah.
100%.
Fucking, I'm solving everything. Speaking
you
of
are.
concerts, though, I went to see Waxahachie. It's not important who she is, but it's important to me, but not to you. Sort of like alt country-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think that people are actually getting better at with cell phones at concerts.
Okay, go on.
Or her audience, like me, is very old.
Okay.
And it might be the latter now that I'm thinking about it.
So what do you mean
Because-
better? They're not filming every fucking thing.
I think this was between 2,000 and 3,000 people, and nary a phone in the air.
Wow. That's great.
And people are following my rule, which, unless you listen to this podcast, you don't know it's a rule, but everyone gets 2 pictures.
I like that. Before and after, or just
One
two-
at the start, or whenever you're excited, and then you get another one if that one didn't turn, or like she had a costume change, or I don't know, it's your favorite, or something happens. Different lights come up, and you're like, oh, that looks cool. Later on, you can take a second picture.
Right. Okay,
I'm willing to maybe even give you a video of 10 seconds or less.
Okay.
But that's it, one.
All right. I like that. That's a great rule.
Right. So, or people are getting better at it. But now I'm sort of. Jill was watching the Taylor Swift Eras thing. I think there were a lot of cell phones out during that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it
Well,
must be.
they're kids.
She has an old crowd.
They're kids, but you know.
But speaking of Red Hot Chili Peppers, they should just do that, right? Like they should just do Eras. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
They do the biggest songs from like Mother's Milk,
Yeah.
Blood Sugar, One Hot Minute, maybe only 2 songs from that, Californication, and then I dropped off there completely.
Yeah.
But I know that like I'm pretty sure that Snow, Heyo, OA, whatever, is one of their most streamed songs.
I don't even know what song that is. You're singing every Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
It's like it's a very like guitar heady kind of riff. Like every time
really?
I'm feeling some sarcasm.
Not at all.
I feel like if you heard the riff, you would know it. But anyway, that's not even. I think that's from something called Stadium Arcadium.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah. Okay, I think I know.
I've heard it, but I think they have like 4 albums since then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I guess Mazel Tov to them. Great. Good. But nobody gives a shit, especially me. That's it.
Okay. What about, let's say, Bob Dylan?
What about him?
People that love Bob Dylan say that he's doing some of his best work right now, like A Murder Most Foul, the one with like the 10-minute song about JFK's assassination.
Okay. Sure.
That ends JFK blown away. What else do I have to say?
That sounds familiar.
I mean, I'm not gonna go see Bob Dylan just because it's Bob Dylan, and if he's playing new stuff.
I'm trying to think about older, like let's say Springsteen. Like I would see Springsteen.
Yeah,
but he has so many albums, even since like The Rising, like 2002 or 3, whenever that was, and then the one after it. I remember I saw him around that time, so I was listening to his newer stuff just so I'd know it.
Right.
But I feel like he has a bunch of shit since then that I'm like, I don't need this.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
a 3.5-hour concert, no, thank you.
The ultimate thought experiment is if, let's say, he picked Dylan or Springsteen or McCartney or even Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's say they pick their best 10 songs from their last 6 albums that no one really knows that well.
Right.
And then had released them in 1994. Would you have been like, damn, these slap? Or is the music objectively terrible right now?
It's a good point. I mean, yeah, I just haven't listened to it, so I guess that's my problem.
Yes, but the truth is, listen to it right after we hang up. You're not going to enjoy it.
No, yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
All right, that's why you tune in for opinions on things we haven't heard or seen. I'll give you my Furiosa take right now.
Oh, have you
I
seen
haven't
it?
seen it. I won't let that stop me. Hollywood's dead, baby. Did you go to the cinema last weekend, JD? Over Memorial Day?
I did not.
You did not? Well, thanks a lot, because you're single-handedly killing cinema in this country. The Garfield movie beat it, JD.
I know. I read. What's his name? Vince Mancini.
Oh, Vince Mancini, former Is This Good Guess? Go back and listen to that one.
Yeah. I read all about it. I can't believe that movie bombed.
Oh.
Well, and then that bombed. It got good reviews, and it bombed. And it is IP, because of Mad Max. And then Fall Guy also bombed.
Also IP, technically.
Technically, 2 fairly high-budget movies, so now people are starting to sweat.
Yeah.
I could feel the heat emanating from Los Angeles as a talent manager from CAA goes to get a cortado and stare into the middle distance. It's it is. People say it's bad, but also, can I just say I'm going to see it?
Yeah.
So what does it make? I think it made like 31 million or something. I would say 31 million and $40 because I'm going to go see it. So they can include that money in it now.
I'm going to see it
20 for me,
too.
20 for Jill.
My
Plus
kids are gonna
$80.
see it. Yeah.
Oh, the kids for you? That's like $120.
Oh yeah. Yep. So Mancini had said he thinks there's going to be a slow burn on this.
Oh, really?
Well, sorry, but Memorial Day weekend, it's too early. It's not the summer yet. I know that summer
Memorial
vacation.
Day weekend is a huge movie weekend.
I know, but
it's the lowest earning Memorial Day movie, like adjusted for inflation.
In 20.
I don't know, since something from a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
A movie that I should have written down because I bet you would. It was something with like maybe Richard Pryor or something.
No, come on.
No,
I read it too.
Anyway.
What the hell was it? Anyways, whatever.
It was like Gumbleman's Inn or something like that. Like those movies you used to watch.
Yeah.
You put out Gumbleman's Inn in 1989. That movie's making $300 million.
Easily.
Prequels. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't need them.
Agree.
And I just for my own education, I was like, are there good prequel? So I just Googled, and aside from Godfather 2, which is not fully a prequel.
It's not a prequel at all. It's a sequel.
Yes, parts of it are a prequel.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The Hobbit.
Half of it is a prequel.
The Hobbit.
Okay, yeah. The Hobbit.
But I don't know if I don't think that's a prequel because
That is.
Okay.
The book is,
I know what you're saying, but it existed already. You know what I mean? It existed in linear order. Like this
Right.
is, we have Mad Max. Now we're going backwards and being like, hey, did you ever wonder where Charlize Theron's character came from?
Right.
Answer, no. Well, we're about to tell you.
Right.
Anyways, there's not, like, Temple of Doom, for instance, is one. Because it's
Yeah, you're
Raiders
right. Yes.
timeline.
Yeah.
And that was even one of the ones where I was like, oh, Temple of Doom. And then I thought for a second, I was like, well, I don't like that one really that much.
Yeah,
So I just don't think people want prequels. It's like we love Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy
yeah.
in Mad Max.
Why
So
not
why do
just
we
continue
want to
it?
not see them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason we couldn't continue is they had very bad blood on set.
Oh,
hated
really?
each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think
a very
Hardy
miserable.
was being a bit of a dinkus.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
She hated that he was doing his Bane voice the whole time, in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
One Caesar salad, please. All right, join us Monday for a new episode of Is This Good? Email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe everywhere. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Go out and see some movies. Let's keep this industry
Let's
afloat.
Keep it up.
Not Garfield. Don't go see Garfield. This was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.
Bye.